you guys? Ras out here in Singapore, and you are listening to the Night Owl podcast. I'm so glad you guys are here. I've been taking a hiatus for a couple of days, did a couple of new posts. I changed up my feed a little bit, and I still feel pretty good. So I was thinking about doing a puzzle feed, and I've kind of given up on that now because it is taking a lot of work. I don't like the way it breaks down when I do make it into a grid, as in like cut the image into pieces for the grid itself. So it's not what I thought it could be, but it's all good. I'm not upset about it, and just move on to the next thing. So now I'm a little more focused on thumbnails because thumbnails are becoming more and more important as far as, drawing someone's eye to be able to look at the video itself. And even though images work very well, video tracks very well, it's still really important to me that I stay on top of my game and keep up with trends to a degree, but then like just do it my way. See, so I feel really good about this. I feel good about the direction that I'm going. But in the meantime, it took me a little bit to kind of recover from the energy I was getting from people and to transmute some of that dark energy because, I don't know, sex does sell, but it also brings out all the cronies out the woodwork. So I had to work on that a little bit too. Anyway, in the meantime, I've been just observing life. Sometimes you get some of your best intuition when you observe life and you, instead of to participate or comment on it, you just observe quietly just to see what's going on, just to notice that, this is what's happening at the moment. This is the way people feel at the moment. This is becoming a habit or a trend, and you notice why. So today I want to talk to you about subtitle culture because guess what? I am suspect number one. I use subtitles on everything, mostly because I don't do one thing at a time anymore. We talked about that before too. I'm really great at multitasking. I love the fact that I multitask. But while I multitask means I'm not doing any one thing very, very well. It's almost like a multivitamin. You have a little bit of this, you have a little bit of that. But depending on the way that it was manufactured, the chemicals that bound it together, sometimes it's easy to digest for your body and sometimes it's not. And even then, it's not like it's naturally occurring chemicals or naturally occurring enzymes and oh gosh, enzymes and what's the other word I want to say? Oh well, you get the idea. Vitamins, um, building blocks for your body, basically. So if it's not naturally occurring, it means it's been synthetically created, which means that it may or may not be digestible, but it's definitely in the pill because they've put it on the label, like the FDA and the drug, the FDA has approved of. So they're doing their due diligence within the law. Um, the bare minimum of the law, by the way, and they're making sure that they put out a multivitamin. And as much as you love the fact that you're taking all of your vitamins in a pill now, you forget that you're not eating the foods that you need to eat, which means the naturally occurring enzymes and chemicals and vitamins that your body needs usually comes with an extra. All the vitamins you get from fruit comes with a source of fiber because the fruit has fiber in it. Same thing with vegetables, it has some fiber in it. And the fiber obviously is something you need to help move your bowels along so that you can keep getting rid of um, waste and make sure that your body is as clean and streamlined as possible. But guess what? With the vitamin, you don't get the fiber, which means you need to take a fiber now. And the fiber needs to, make sure that it works with all the vitamins that you're taking at the same time. Now, when you get drugs, as in medicines from the doctor, they are equipped to tell you what to take and what not to take, to give you medicines that work together well so that one doesn't cancel out the other. When we buy off the shelf to be able to get vitamins and supplements and all that stuff, you don't know what works with other product. You don't know what will cancel each other out. You don't know what will affect the other product. You don't know what will give you side effects because it's not prescribed by a doctor. And even then, we already know. Here in Singapore, you go to the doctor, you get, 5 different medicines for 5 different symptoms you have let the doctor know about, and it's all about pharmacy. It's really not about the medicine itself. It's not about how can you naturally heal all of these things, right? So, here I am talking to you about subtitle culture. How many of you use subtitles when you watch Netflix? Okay, granted, if you're watching it in a different language, you need subtitles. But let's say it's Thummell, right? Thummell is not my mother tongue, but it's my second language. Now, if I'm listening to subtitles in Thummell, it stops me from asking someone, hey, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Which is also good because then the other person doesn't get freaking irritated, right? But it also means that I am no longer listening for the words, I'm just reading the subtitles. Same thing in English. A lot of times we have the subtitles on because maybe we can't have the volume very loud. Maybe, we're cooking at the same time. We want to be able to, catch the subtitles or catch, I don't know, whatever the reason you might have subtitles on for. But what I've noticed is if I have the subtitles on, I'm no longer listening to the inflections in their voice and their tone. I'm just reading the subtitles at the bottom. And I'm real quick to tell you the subtitles don't match, but I'm not paying attention to as many details as I possibly could. We're really good about that. I don't think you understand why, though. The more that is done for you, the less you have to use your brain. So where we might be using 2%, we may be more like 1% because we've made machines to do the rest of the work. Do you realize that? Do you realize how lazy we have become as a people? Back in the day when they were struggling for life, right? They had this work ethic about them. They would work hard to make sure that everything was taken care of. There was no complaining about, oh my God, I don't have enough time. You fucking wake up and make the damn time. I know if you were in a relationship and you were courting someone, you really wanted to make sure that, they had your attention, you would do everything possible to get their damn attention. I mean, you go rack your brain. You go do some research. You go put in some effort. Y'all get married, you already got the person, you go stop putting in the effort. And then wonder why the grass is greener and wonder why the thing you're not paying attention to is dying. It's the same thing with plants. If you don't pay attention, if you don't talk to it, if you don't water it, if you don't pay attention to the soil, if you don't pay attention to the bugs around it, it's going to die. If you're not paying attention, it can't fend for itself. I mean, okay, it can kind of, but it could use some help, especially if it's an indoor plant. Outside, not so bad. It'll adjust. It'll figure itself out. But can you imagine the ability of the indoor plant to thrive if it's depending on you the entire time? Because it is indoors, it's not going to get rained on easily. And if you're smart enough to put it near a window, okay, it'll get some sun, but then what else? You got to control the soil that's been potted in. Same thing with baby girl. The more I do for her, the less she does for herself. I've told her millions of times, she loses stuff really easy, right? And she has a lot of things. I've told her millions of times, you put it back in the place where you got it from, so that when you need to go get it again, you know exactly where to go get it. Don't do this safe place thing that we all do, and put it in a safe place and suddenly be like, oh my God, where was the safe place? I can't remember, because it was dependent on the mood I was in and what I was doing at the time and the people that were around me, and yeah, I have no idea where I put that shit. It's lost forever. The more that is done for you, the less you are capable of doing for yourself. I've been listening to a lot of this stuff about, how we as a culture need to support each other, and some of us don't want the other person to rise, and we're just working within the system, and we're playing by all the rules set up by other people, and we should be fighting against that. And you know what? No. No. You have a system in place for you, great. Take advantage of it until you get to a place where you don't need the system anymore. And once you don't need the system anymore, create your own system. Figure it out for yourself. The system here in Singapore is to have a maid to take care of everything in your house so that you can go out and work 100 hours a day. Because if you have a maid, the job place thinks that, I'm paying you, I own you, come do what I'm asking you to do. They're not worried about mental health. They're not worried about the work-life balance. They're not worried about, do you seem to be a good fit for this company, or can I get you to work for cheap because you don't have the experience and talk shit about you the entire time you're there. They're not interested in building people up. They're interested in placing people underneath them so that they rise higher, but that's not the same thing as building people up. It's like Jenga. So what do you do in those situations, though? Well, A, you could complain about it because we're really good about complaining. Oh my gosh, the system isn't set up for us to succeed. Oh my gosh, it's only if you're born with these genes and those cheekbones and this particular source of income for you to be able to make it in life. I mean, because that's how Justin Bieber did it. He's white. Nope. Oh my God, who has time to make a video every day to be able to put it on social media? Well, if you have time to take 100 selfies, you damn sure have time to make a video. A 1-minute video. Don't you think? I mean, perhaps. Yes? No? No? We're really good about complaining about our circumstance. We're really good about shedding light on the circumstance. But we're not really good about living as though we've embodied all of the messages and all of the lessons that the people before us who really did suffer Because trust me, we were all brought up in privilege. Those people who did suffer were doing the same things they did, plus more. We're not. We're doing less. Infinitely less. My grandmother taught tuition. She made clothes. She ran temple stuff. She had people over for dinner and lunch. She always had enough food. And it wasn't like she had tons and tons of money. She made do. And she raised her children and her grandchildren. And she was happy in life. She was happy. She didn't go on vacation all that often. I mean, unless one of her kids paid for it. But even then, it was to see the grandkids. It wasn't to go see the sights. Maybe it was to visit some temples. But more than that, it was to be around more family. They became the one place that you need to come and be if you were stopping in Singapore for a couple hours. You're going to leave the damn airport and you're going to come see my grandmother out of respect because they played a big place in your life, your family's life, your grandparents' life. They were that big. That impact was there. And when they passed away, the community felt it. But look at us, raised in privilege, AC babies, don't know what it's like to struggle, but we're going to talk about the darkness all fucking day. Yes, some of us are suicidal, some of us are anxious, some of us have depression. Okay, I understand, your cross is your own to bear. But what are you going to do about it? Are you going to fight it, or are you going to succumb to the diagnosis? It's like if you go to the josier, right, and they read your fortune. Oh my God, this going to happen, that going to happen, listening, all that stuff, right? Are you going to succumb to that and be like, all right, well, this is the reason? Or are you going to do something about it? Don't worry, that'll be a separate podcast episode. But I'm saying to you, subtitle culture. We have all of these things, so we stop using the faculties that could do it for us. We are capable of learning multiple languages. We are capable of understanding other cultures. We are capable of so much. Yet we limit ourselves and don't do what we could do, saying that it's not enough time, we don't have the tools. We have more tools than anyone before us, ever. But they were more skilled. They valued skill. We value information. But what do we do with the information? We sit on it. Keep it to ourselves. Because I'm not sharing it with nobody. I don't want no one else to have what I have. I'm going to make it. But I'm not, because I'm not going to implement. Pay attention to your world. Look at all of the affluence you have around you. We're worried about influence. We're not talking about the affluence we have. Everybody in our family has a phone each. Some of us have a TV in every room. We have 3 square meals a day. We don't have to worry about when we're going to eat next. We have clean drinking water out of the tap. Even if you do have a filter on it and boil water sometimes. I still boil water. It's tradition. We can do so much. Think about how many clothes you have in the closet. How many of those clothes do you wear every day? Or at least once a month? Nope, because you can't be seen in the same outfit twice. But remember back in the day where we were worried about fashion and what we would do is try and style the items in different ways so they looked different, but they were the same piece? Do you remember that? We used to wait for the magazines to come out and tell us, okay, well, how many ways can you wear this? Because I'm not trying to spend a lot of money, but I am trying to be trendy. You remember? And now it's like, okay, I'm going to wait for the fashion to come out so I can buy it off of somebody. And yeah, that'll be it. I love what I do. I love the person I am. Yeah, I have it tough. But I'm okay with the tough because it's going to force me to level up. It's going to force me to find a way around all the tough. You watch. I'm coming. And yes, I succumb to the same bullshit y'all do. I Netflix binge. I get stuck reading tarot all day long because I'm upset about something. I want to talk to people and complain sometimes, but I try really hard not to. I'm working on me. I'm not perfect yet. But in the meantime, I do follow all my curiosity. I am excited about making art. I am excited about redefining me and the way I decorate my space I'm working on those things. I'm okay with that. I want that for me. And where I can't, upgrade the software or learn the software, I'm going to try and do it old school, by hand. I'm going to try, because I can. I love my life. I love my brain. And yes, I am part of the subtitle culture too. But I'm noticing. I'm slowly waking up. And I know the best way for me to win is to really put in the effort to win. I can't wait for circumstance to fix it. I can't wait for the rallies to give me more rights. Because whether I have the right to vote or not, I have the ability to think. Whether I have the right to be noticed or respected as LGBTQ plus, any of those things, right? Even as a straight person, whether I have the right to do those things, I am those things. I have the ability to stand up for myself. I have the ability to be kind and gracious and compassionate. I don't need the right to do those things. That'll be another podcast episode at some point. But you see how everything's related. Subtitle culture. Check yourself. Make sure you're using your brain. I love you guys. You got any questions, comments, please drop them in the field below. But in the meantime, y'all have a blessed day. And do the best you can. Because you do have the ability. I love you guys.